Hi everyone! Today I thought I would show you my collection of violins. Now I have 8 violins in my collection. It is declined, increased, declined over the years, so I hope you'll enjoy taking a look at them all. I'm gonna go in a little bit of a chronological order, so I'll show you them in the order that I got them. So this is the first violin that I ever got. I like to call her Minnie Mouse because she's so small. It's a 1/4 size, 1/4 or a quarter size. This is the first violin I ever started on when I was 8 years old. I did not stay on this violin for long before I moved on to a half size. It was a blue half size violin called Blue, and I don't have that violin anymore actually, but that was probably the one that played the most role in my life before I restarted again. But yeah, I don't have that one anymore, but I didn't stay on this one for long. But look, you can see all the little stickers that I had before I learned where to place the fingers, and a little star for being good in the lesson, which must have been a rare case because I was a little bit of a rebellious student when I was getting lessons in school. Hence why I quit soon after. It's too small, I really can't play on this, but I'm going to try and play a little bit. So yeah, that is Minnie Mouse. So the next violin in the list would have actually been Blue, the little half size.
Very good, smile.
But I don't have her anymore because she was very broken.
The last thing I'll ever play on it on one string that one will actually tune.
This part had kind of snapped. So we're going to move on to the next violin that I got. Well, it's not exactly the next violin I got because the next violin I got was a full size. After I'd quit for a couple of years, I decided to start again. Me and my dad went to the shop and we bought a very cheap violin, and it was like £49. That's very cheap in the violin world. We call it a VSO, violin shaped object, and it was broken in 2 days. So we brought it back and we went to another shop and we got this one. This violin I called Teran. It was named after Taron Egerton, but I spelt it Teran instead of Teran because apparently in an interview he said his mum spelt it wrong on the birth certificate and it was supposed to be Teran, meaning thunder in Welsh. So I called it that at the time. This violin sounds a little bit different. Once I had finished with this violin and I got the next one after this, I thought, well, what's the point in having 2 violins that sound the same? And I don't want to get rid of it, so I got octave strings. So it sounds like a cello. Every string is 1 octave lower than what you'd usually hear on the violin. It's like a whole other range that a violinist can play. Yeah, it's just a fun little exciting way to play more range on a violin. Yeah, I used this violin from April 2019 to November 2020, so just over a year and a half. It served me well for that time. Also on the case I had this little pom-pom and a shout out to my friend who gave me this skateboard keyring in school. It's still on the violin case. Okay, this next violin is the one that has appeared most on my YouTube channel, so here it is. Here is Reggie, named after Elton John, of course, because his name was Reginald Kenneth Dwight before he changed it to Elton Hercules John. So, Reggie is my violin. I got this violin in November 2020, so it was lockdown. We weren't able to go to a shop to pick one out. So I actually bought this online from Thomann, and it's a Klaus Heffler Stradivari model. It's a modern violin. It was made 5 years ago, and this is the one that has appeared most on my violin channel. I used it from November 2020 to the end of June 2024. actually started my online lessons with this violin. So when I was using Teran, the other violin, which is now the octave violin, I was self-taught from April 2019 to March 2021. I started my lessons in March 2021 online with my teacher, and I was using this violin. It served well until June 2024, but it was such a massive upgrade from the previous one that I was playing on, and so I was super excited to be playing on a nicer instrument. This violin has been everywhere with me. I've played it in so many different countries and places. It's been played at the Grand Canyon, Las Vegas, England, Spain, France, Ibiza, Italy, Switzerland, Austria, Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. I performed with it on 3rd Street Promenade and Santa Monica Pier in Santa Monica, California. It's also been played at the Hoover Dam, Malibu, the Griffith Observatory in California, and a bunch of other cool places around America such as Peggy Sue's Diner, Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch, in London, Barcelona, and so many more places. And it's overall just a really special violin to me. Also, since we're going in chronological order, this is my bow. I named it Bernie because at the time this is Reggie, named after Elton, and this is Bernie Taupin, and they play together, you know, they work well. Like the lyricist and the musician. So that's the backstory. It's a chorus bow. It's this carbon fiber stick and synthetic hair, so it can be any colour, and I chose blue. And yeah, again, I still use this bow to this day, so it's a great bow. Again, this video kind of isn't in chronological order entirely because I have got violins and then got rid of them in between these violins that I obviously don't have them anymore. So I had a Heidi electric violin, which I used my first ever street performance. I don't have that anymore, and I sold that in 2021. I also got a Cremona electric violin in 2021 to replace that previous one, and I sold that in 2023. But in 2022, I got this electric violin. This is a bridge electric violin, and it's really cool. It's the best sounding electric violin that I've had so far. It kind of defies the normal violin shape. As you can see, it's very thin here because it doesn't need to have all of this excess material because it is electric. Unlike some electric violins, this is actually hollow, so you can play it kind of acoustically and it's just quiet. Now, of course, it doesn't sound very good when it's not plugged in because it is an electric violin, but here is a couple of examples of how it can sound. One with reverb and some delay. And then the other with some distortion. So you can put your shoulder rest on these ridges here, and also the input is at the back down here. So when I have my wireless transmitters in, you can't see it, so it's actually really cool. And it also doesn't get in the way like near your face. And it also has these controls here, which makes it very easy to adjust settings. And yeah, it went perfectly with this bow. And this violin is called Captain Fantastic. Again, named after something Elton John related. I don't use this violin as often, however I did use it a lot when we lived in Ibiza, and also when I was in college I used this quite a lot because we were doing band projects in groups, so it kind of suited that vibe. In 2022 I also got another violin. It was an acoustic electric violin sent to me by Glary. I did not have this violin for long because we were moving. I couldn't take all of the instruments with me. So the next violin I also got in 2022. This violin, I remember the date, I got it on the 5th of November 2022. It's all thanks to my dad, who was walking my dog on the morning. We were in Switzerland at the time because we lived in Ibiza for a short while in 2022. We did a European road trip on the way back. So on the way we visited Switzerland, and the day we were going to be leaving, my dad took our dog for a walk early, and he also did a bit of exploring while he was there around Lugano, which is where we were stopping, and he found a flea market. In the flea market was a violin.
There's more stalls here. Violin. Wow, I did love that. Wow.
So that was the moment that he saw the violin. Now I actually already have a video all about this violin on my violin channel. However, I'm still going to show you it here. She's in this really old case here. The bow is a little bit broken. We were not able to get this serviced at the same time with the violin. But a couple of days after we found this violin, we actually went to a luthier in Nuremberg in Germany, and he fixed the violin and put some new strings on it so we could hear it. This is Heidi. I think she's a 3/4 size because I now have a 7/8 size violin and she's just a little bit smaller than that. So 3/4 size German violin from the 1930s. She's got a lovely one-piece back and a little engravement that says Amati here, which I think is the model that they used. She has a lovely colour and it's a really pretty violin. I'm gonna play a little bit, but obviously it is a smaller violin, so I can't play it that well. Smaller violin, so I can't play it that well, but it's still very cute little memorabilia from Switzerland, so thanks Dad for finding that. And yeah, that is Heidi. These next two violins I got in December 2023. They were sent to me by Kinglos Neoclassical. Actually, if you like these violins, I do have a discount code which is Holly20, which you can use on the online shop to get a $10 discount, so keep that in mind. So this violin is called Duchess. She's got more of a classical look to her with the wood. And this violin is a bit different. This one is called Cross. It doesn't actually have a chin rest on it right now, but it does come with a chin rest. And it also has this bit so you can still put on your preferred shoulder rest. Yeah, these violins are very cool. So thank you so much Kinglos Neoclassical for sending me these. I'm not going to play them right now because they are electric and you won't be able to hear them, but here is a demo of them. So yeah, very cool, swanky electric violins. Yeah, don't forget to use code Holly20 at the checkout. Now, finally, we are at almost the end of the video, and this is the most recent violin that I've got. I got it in June 2024, so just last year, almost 1 year ago, and this is Harry. Harry is a 7/8 violin made in Lockwood in England in 1949 by a maker called Harry Wynne Ratcliffe. And because it was 7/8, I don't think it was expensive as the other ones. I tried a load more violins that were way more expensive than this one, but this one just suited my needs a lot better because I'm short, I have small hands, so the 7/8 size really does fit my hands better and is a lot easier for me to play. It has a gorgeous one-piece tiger-like striped back. It's really beautiful, and yeah, I'm going to play a little bit on it for you. It has such a lovely sound and it's so much easier to play than the other violins that I've had in the past. And yeah, I'm really happy with this violin, and this is the one that I play most nowadays. This violin I use for all of my street performances now, most of my events, weddings. It's just such a lovely instrument to be able to play. And also, while we're talking about the chronological order of the bows too, this is a new bow that I got in March last year, so just before I got this violin in the June, and I named it Irene. And this is my violin Harry, and they are also both named after my great-grandparents. I'm not planning on getting any more violins anytime soon, but you never know. It kind of just happens. I didn't ever plan on having 8. I actually only planned on having an acoustic and an electric. Yeah, somehow she ended up with 8 violins. Although I've probably played about 50 in my lifetime so far. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And, you know, this isn't all of the instruments that I own, this is just the violins. So if you'd like a video that shows all of the instruments that I own, do let me know. But yeah, this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed meeting all of my violins. Let me know in the comments suggestions for other videos you'd like to see. And I have a Q&A coming very soon, So make sure to leave your questions before I film it next week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.